lots of gore. So I was like, okay, here's 4 more pages of. And I remember Audrey, my wife, read the script for 2, and she goes, "Where were you at on this? Like, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I told you, each issue gets worse. You know, as far as you're just ramping up."
I was in the living room.
Yeah, when the moon finally rises, yeah, you don't want to be in that town.
No.
So.
And it's like, is it bad? I want to be in that town though. I'm just like, I want to be there. Like when the issues just keep coming out, I want to be in that town.
Try to get as fast as we can.
I mean, the dumb guy at the gas station that gets killed right off panel. So, whatever.
I'm telling you. Oof. I love werewolves though. I love them. I want one.
Have a good pet. If you're a vampire, you can apparently have werewolf pets. So
Yeah, I want one. I want one.
I remember
So we can make that happen.
when Kevin first, like, we were talking on the phone, and he's like, "What are you working on?" And he started kind of bashfully telling me about this story, and he's like, "Yeah, it's about werewolves and it's that." And like 5 minutes in, he's like, "What do you think?" I was like, "You had me at werewolves. I mean, that's
right.
That's what I want to draw." But then, I mean, obviously, the dialogue in the story actually
Right.
really does resonate with people because it's not just that. Not like The Walking Dead, where like when zombies are kind of the side thing. Like, the werewolves are a part of the story, but they're not the heart of this story. It's
Right.
human beings interacting with human beings, and that's why I like the most.
Yeah, and it's hard not to just want to jump on a project when someone says werewolves.
Mhm.
Someone's like, "Oh, you know, I don't know, it's about werewolves." I don't really care what else is it, a dance number? It doesn't matter. It's like dancing werewolves. Sure.
Well, the biggest thing for me, you know, as far as, you know, with werewolves, is I remember that when the bookmobile used to come in my neighborhood when I used to live in St. Louis, and I mean, no matter what, I don't care what book I got, if it was on the shelf still, Cycle of the Werewolf would always go in my stack. Because I just, you know, I want to read that, but I just, Bernie Wrightson's artwork in that resonated. Adam was like, "What kind of werewolves are you talking about?" I just started, just showing Bernie Wrightson Cycle of the Werewolf pictures, and I was like, "This is what they are. These are nightmares. These aren't beauties. They don't kiss girls. They're not fawned over. They don't glisten in the sun."
I like that you say they don't kiss girls. They don't kiss girls, they eat their faces.
No, they rip your face off and throw you away in many pieces everywhere. I mean, that's I guess where the title comes from, is that, you know, they represent a storm. I mean, one werewolf represents, you know, I used to, for 10 years I lived in I come from St. Louis, so then I wanted to be Kevin Costner when I graduated from college, and I bought 5 acres, a little hobby farm in Pierce City, Missouri, and that little farmhouse that I had scared the fuck out of me for 10 years, with horror movie storms, with bobcats and their young and coyotes. I'm like, they are murdering women and children out in the field right now. And they're like, those were bobcat. I'm like, I don't care what it was sounded satanic. You know? So, but when I bought that house, and then 2 months later, the whole town was eradicated by a F5 tornado. And it missed us by 2 miles. So, and, you know, when I was in college, you know, I just, you know, it's that old Stephen King, what if? You know, I was like, what if a werewolf represented that kind of power? And what if a couple of them showed up in a small town? And I was always just tinkering around with this in college, and then finally, you know, my wife's like, "Just write this book." I'm like, "All right," so I was, you know, dibble-dabbling, and then Adam, you know, the call, and he's like, "What are you working on?" And he shows back up with just these amazing conceptions, and I'm like, "Well, shit, honey, it's a comic book." She's like, "No, it's a novel. You need to write it." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, it's a comic book." So, retraining your brain instead of exposition, you know, you're writing in scenes and dialogue now, and you're just kind of retraining your brain. But very fortunate to have someone like Adam that gives you your time. I mean, he literally, you have to isolate. I mean, writing a script is easy, but, you know, it's this guy that makes the magic happen. Because, I mean, what happens when you pick a comic book off the shelf? The artwork sucks, you put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just from everything from top to bottom. We wanted this. If we're going to make a comic book, this was our resume to the industry. It's like, there. You know, this is where it contributes. Like, you know, it's like when Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard, we're going to make a horror movie. Well, you guys made a genre of. You made a genre of a television show with Buffy. So when they made a movie, you know, Cabin in the Woods, that's their best foot forward.
Right.
And to this day, it's probably one of the best in our generation. To me, like as far as you know, like
I took that approach.
The 80s had, you know, Friday the 13th and Elm Street. And it's like I feel like one of ours is Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, no, it's great. No, because that's like I told I was like, if we're gonna do a comic book, this is our resume. If this is a shitty resume, nobody's gonna look at us twice. So we've just been very fortunate and just stay humble. you know, and realize that, yeah, we're kind of irrelevant because we're not that traditional company that has a book every month. But at least we're honest and we're trying to get out there and then tell people, look, we're still making stuff, but we will reward you for the ride, you know,
Right.
with each issue. So I just need to make a pile of cash. Like just pay him to just pay you off. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just sell more tattoos, I guess.
Well, all right, say 5 years from now, you guys hit it big. And, you know,
Awesome.
so, I mean, yeah, great. So, Marvel, DC, whatever big one of the two that you prefer here comes to you and says, hey, we love your work, we want you to have any character you want. Who are you writing, who are you drawing?
For what?
Marvel or DC, any of them.
Or Image.
Or an Image even, yeah.
Well, Image is more independent. You eat your own stories.
Right, they are.
So
Usually.
So essentially, you could just have a character. If you could just have a character.
If you could have a character that you can have a run on for a year or two or whatever.
Or even Valiant.
I don't know. I mean, my thing is,
I love monsters. I mean, that's my
Yeah.
thing. Please.
I mean,
have me
the-
draw
the-
monsters for
the
you.
easy, slow and bouncy kickball shot would be Werewolf by Night for me.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I like Brittney, man. I grew up picking up X-Men at the grocery store. You know, at Piggly Wiggly and Sykeston,
Yeah.
or like Deerbergs and
Sykeston?
yeah, my dad's from there.
What? I'm from Dexter.
Oh, nice, cool. My mom's from Cape Brown, so.
Sorry, small world.
You know, I remember when they
Back camera commentary here.
Sorry.
75 cents for an X-Men issue.
Yeah.
You know, when
Yeah.
you remember when Wolverine
Going
was.
to Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, when Wolverine was on the X, you know, that was one of the best
Yeah.
covers in the world. Where it was
Oh my
crucified all these
gosh, yeah.
Marauders, and you know
Right.
when it was coming out, and it was just so much fun. But God, that's a tough one. I mean, I'd love to do what Ennis did with Punisher when he brought it back, when it was just R, you know.
How it should be.
Yeah, just an R, you know, that or.
With Punisher, absolutely.
As far as DC goes,
get this
I would love to
back
bring,
then.
I would love to go back to like, you know, but they won't let you do it though. But I'd love to take Constantine back to Hellblazer.
Yeah.
Like when Garth, Garth Ennis was writing it, when Warren Ellis was writing it.
Yeah.
You know, you had those. I remember those Bradstreet covers and those Glenn. I mean, I love how you had the whole team of Preacher start off on Hellblazer. It was some fucking good shit. It was so good, man. It just punched you in the face, and then Preacher, of course, is one of the influences why I want to get into comic books. But yeah, I mean, those are kind of some characters I would work on. But JLA Dark, you can keep that. I don't want to even touch that. I mean, that's just like Hellblazer is dark. Hellblazer is demonic. Hellblazer deals with just stuff. It's awesome stuff. I mean, that's what I want.
I was thinking Hellblazer too, actually.
Oh, there you go.
You guys want to
Well, Hellboy was my first.
Oh,
Hellboy's my first love.
Yeah.
But I
I just love
there's
monsters,
no way I would touch
fighting,
that.
and all that amazing stuff. Plus, I mean, it's kind of like your creature feature. Like he was fighting something every week, and the designs that they would come up with, and you always fight Nazis, which I mean, who doesn't want to fight Nazis?
Exactly.
So drawing that stuff is fantastic. Like that kind of is. I don't know if that would be my.
I would
wheelhouse
love to do it.
to
That would be
see,
awesome to do a
but-
Hellboy show comic with you.
I know, right? But then it was like Hellblazer too, because of the world the world he runs around in is scary. It is terrifying. There's some issues. I remember when I was barely starting to get into comics, I'd pick up something and go, I don't know if I want that, because it's just a little too dark for me. You know,
Right.
people who had like boxes carried in their stomachs, and you know, it was a demon book or something. It was just like, what? Who comes up with these ideas? And now he's in jail at dark, and you're just like, now he's a side character who just, you know, smokes and, you know, sexually curious. I don't know. And I was like, that's not the John Constantine that I want to read about. I want the one that terrifies me, and then he comes to save the day at the end, whether I'm alive or not. I don't know.
Whether I've made it through the comic.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking. You know, both been independent on that. It's interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is.
See,
Wheels are
What-
turning.
what-
Wheels are turning.
You guys just.
what are you looking at me?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just agreeing.
Us.
I'm totally down with seeing your guys' interpretation of Hellblazer. That would be great.
That'd be awesome. That would be dream.
That would be cool.
Yeah, sometimes when we were brainstorming for Graveyard Slaughter, I was writing down some ideas too, and I remember my wife, she read one of them, she goes, that's gross. That is just. She goes, where did you even come up? And I felt like accused, like, I don't know. This is, what happened? She's like, look, I don't know if I want to sleep next to you tonight. Like, it's that dark? Does it creep me out? So.
Don't feel bad. My mom always says, you had a happy childhood. Anything I do or like the stuff I watch, she's like, you had a happy childhood.
Yeah.
We're going on the record. You had a happy
I
childhood.
love my mother. She raised me in the library, and she was in the month club, and
That's awesome.
she was handing me Gunslinger, and then Pet Cemetery. And to this day, obviously, it just scared the piss out of me. I mean,
We watched horror films. Like I'd watch horror films with
Oh,
my dad.
yeah, same thing here.
Watch
Yeah.
horror films with my mom.
He'd take you to the theater.
he would take us to the theater and fall asleep during stuff, and it was like, it's like, what? Oh God!
We were in the Nightmare on Elm Street, the 3D one. In the theater, and I was a kid. Yeah, I was a kid. I mean, we're
That
talking.
was so terrible.
I should not have been in that.
But I know,
theater.
but still, you're like, wow,
Yeah,
I know.
but it's like the 3D
You
glasses.
look back at it then where they were just doing blatant 3D stuff.
Right,
Look
yeah.
at the knife. Want some water?
And I had the glasses on my face, and I fell asleep. And when I woke up to was Freddy's face coming at me.
I know,
I was like,
awesome.
oh God, it's
So-
real. You watch it now, it's like.
So bad. It was so rad. I love it. It was
Like,
so rad.
what the heck? And it's like, I remember, like, being in the theater and having Freddy's face come at me. It's like the worst thing to wake up to, like, on planet Earth. Oh, jeez.
That's
Good
not a pretty
times.
picture coming at you either.
No, it's not at all. I had no concept of what happened in the movie, because I literally fell asleep right when we got in there. And then that's what I woke up to. I guess I was done with my power nap. I guess. My 5-year-old power nap, how old I was.
He's one of my favorite like commissions. People are like, I want you to draw Jason, because it's like you draw Jason, but anything goes around him or what he does to somebody. Because in the movies, like one of my favorite ones is the sleeping bag against a tree thing. He's just throwing Batman, it seems so ridiculous. I mean, you're like, that's a person in there. That's really twisted.
I like the sleeping bag, and I like when he goes to the shed. I swear to God, I want to do a short of which number is it? Which Friday the 13th is it? Where he goes to the shed and he gets where he's in the lake and he's got the chains. 7? Okay, so I'm gonna do a short of part 7 where it's just him going back to the shed and him picking out his weapon, because he has like 70,000 weapons in that. He comes out with like one of those power lawn mowers, like the weed eaters. Like he comes out with that at one point. So it's like, where is he getting all of these weapons? Like, I want to do it. I'm just like going like, ooh, what's next? Okay, I'll take this guy. And he goes out.
He's got the garden rake.
Yeah,
What's he gonna do
lost
with that?
it. Like lost that. He goes back to the shed. And he's like, well, what else is in here?
The harpoon. He always gets a harpoon somewhere.
It's just like random. I love how much like random stuff he finds. That's why I like him so much. It's like, how fun was it? It's like to write those films, to be like,
he doesn't always use a chainsaw.
yeah, he's like, okay guys, I got it. A weed eater.
Yeah.
He's gonna come out with a weed eater next. It's like, who was like, yep, that's
We
scary.
got that in the prop closet.
Yeah,
We'll do
that's
that.
there's maybe that's where it is.
It's all in the prop closet, so it ends
just
up in the
there.
movie.
Yeah, it was just in their prop shed that day, and they're like, "Yep, just keep giving them these. Keep giving them to them." It's like one of my favorite. It's like one of my favorite. Well, I don't know. I like the 3D one of Friday the 13th. I like that one a lot. Again, way off topic. You should watch
Bring
that
us
one.
back.
Yeah,
Bring
you
us
should
back.
watch that one too. I can talk about horror films.
Yeah, you can talk about it. Look, we all know you had a happy childhood.
I really did. Yeah, I love horror films. They're just the best. That's what, because we were talking earlier about how the horror films back then, like, they didn't have the CG, they didn't have all that stuff. So they had to do practical effects and stuff like that. And it's like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like those prosthetics in that movie to this day are still phenomenal. Like,
Thing.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, the thing.
The Thing is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I mean, just what they accomplished with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like,
And that's why that stuff was scary, because it was like the mind. You know what I mean? It's like, what did we just watch? We just watched the Autopsy of Jane Doe. How did that movie not go to theaters? Have you guys seen that? I literally watched it. We watched it last night. I went to the bathroom. I had to open the curtain. because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna die. Open the curtain, and then I literally run from the bathroom because the light was off. I run from the bathroom into the living room real fast and slam the door because I'm just like, I'm gonna hear a bell on a corpse's foot. I was like, that's what I'm thinking. You guys should really watch that movie too. And it didn't go to theaters. Again, it was innovative, it was independent, it's all one location,
So we gotta
there's
find
no
You
CG.
gotta find good horror these days on the independent
Yeah,
circuit.
it's no CG, nothing. Watch The Ritual. The Ritual was really good.
Fantastic film.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
I like the twist with it. It was really good. Well done.
It's so good. Again, that freaked me out too.
I'm just about Heredity coming out.
Yeah.
It looks like a good film.
I'm pumped. Yeah. We just watched it last night, and I didn't even know it didn't go to theaters. And I was like, it didn't go to theaters. It's like, of course not, because it's phenomenal. It's like, why would it? Let's do Paranormal Activity 27. Like, that'll make money.
Hey, yeah, it might.
It does. Well, I mean, it does. But like this movie, if you watch it, you'll say, how did this not go? Because it would have made. Because so much of it is audio. Like so much of it is audio cues and visual cues. So in a theater, loud in the dark, I mean, people would have been jumping out of their seats.
It was really well done. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I like that Andy Serkis produced it.
Did he?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was really good.
Just learn something new every day.
See, there you go.
Whatever.
All right,
More
any
you
other
know.
questions for our guests?
Do you guys have any?
That's so awesome.
Any questions from the audience for our guests?
We have stuff for you too, handouts. If you don't want to take it now, you can come to our table and get it throughout VisionCon. But we brought presents for
If
you.
you don't want to come
Yeah.
up and get this at the table.
Well, they're only here just one night. I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, no.
It's like, if you're afraid, come to the table. It's like, don't
You
be
might
What
wanna-
is
afraid.
gonna happen?
Yeah, he's not a werewolf. He won't scratch you or bite
All
you.
had a happy childhood.
That's right, everyone, every single one.
All three of them.
I think you did, right?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're fine. We
All
can have
right.
that happy childhood.
The happiest.
Well, this is the portion of the show where we transition, talk about the news. You guys okay to talk about kind of what the news is going on and give our reaction?
Sure.
Did anybody have any questions though?
Oh, yeah.
I guess that was true. We asked that and then we kind of
We asked him and said you're
swirled
not
over.
allowed.
Yeah, all right.
Just
Yeah, of course they
kidding.
don't. All right.
Just
All right. There's some comic book news out there talking about comics. DC Comics, of course, Rebirth has been going on for a while, and that seems to have really excited most of the fans. Rebirth has really kind of pulled a lot of the fans back to the comic books. We have Action Comics 1000 coming out.
Yes.
And it has been confirmed that Superman gets his red trunks back.
Does
Action
that
Comics.
matter though?
It does.
I mean.
Yes, it does.
Does it? Okay.
It does.
Well-
Underwear back.
Well, and
They're not underwear. They're part of the costume. Come on.
I ordered 2 copies of that one. I haven't bought comic books since Flashpoint.
so there you go.
So I guess it is important.
It is.
I don't want to sound dumb. It's just I don't feel like I don't know. I don't know. I just never thought like, oh God, he doesn't have his trunks. It's not Superman. Like,
But
I
some
don't
people
know.
do. I mean,
Yeah.
if you grew up with the classic Superman drawings, then Superman doesn't feel like Superman, especially if you watch the old movies, everything else without the trunks. It seems like he's missing something.
He's
Not-
exposed.
Not that it's
He's exposed.
necessarily his underwear, but it's actually just part of the costume. And most of the artists will tell you they draw it as a part of the costume, that it's sewn in there, it's not an extra piece.
Yeah.
So it's not like he takes them off and then takes off his pants.
Yeah.
It's actually one piece there. And it kind of breaks up the color scheme to make it better, makes it more viewable. But a lot of fans don't consider Superman with the straight blue pants to really be their Superman. So
I guess if Buffy wasn't blonde, I'd be pretty upset about it. I guess.
that's true.
Well,
So I guess I can understand.
Superman's costume is based on the old like 20s strongmen, so that that transition there. And then when he went to like jeans and a t-shirt and like renounced his American citizenship, I was like, what is happening right now? So the jeans and t-shirt, I was like, I don't care about that at all. But the blue suit, red pants, yes, let's do it. Let's bring it back.
Let's do it.
I think
Yeah.
we should. Yeah.
Are they going to keep it? Have they said, or is he going to keep them, or is it just a one-shot production?
According to a DC panel at Planet Comic Con last week, yes, they're going to keep that. That's going to be, his new look is going back to the retro look.
And so in DC Comics, that might be my favorite resurrection. Then not even person, it's the red underwear.
It's the
That's
red,
what I want.
Bring the red underwear back.
Well,
Who cares about any of the characters? You're gonna bring that costume
That's
back?
right.
Yes.
There's speculation, and somewhat confirmed that Batman may be bringing his trunks back too. So
Batman trunks.
For one issue.
for one issue
Yeah.
at least. So yeah.
See, and I'm a DC. I mean, I like DC better because it's darker. The bad guys are better.
Well, Batman
They
has the
just
best.
are.
Batman does have the best.
Yeah,
villains.
they just are.
Yeah, Batman has the best villains.
And it's not always been that way. It used to be DC was the more lighter and the stories were more real and darker in Marvel, so things have kind of changed over time, but yeah.
Batman's my favorite.
I think we got that.
I love that. That's what, you guys didn't ask me what I would like to write.
What would
I
you like to write?
I would like to write Batman, but it would be more geared towards the villains probably.
Yeah.
Like kind of like Gotham City Sirens, but
Or
maybe
Arkham
darker. Yeah, oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't they just do that as a movie? Could you imagine? Oh, you just have all the bad guys there. Just put them in there. Just do it like the game. Rocksteady had it. Who wrote the Rocksteady games? Just let them write. Let them start writing the DC movies.
That or like Bruce Timm and Paul Dini that did the animated series.
Yeah.
That's some of my favorite Batman stories ever.
That's what kills me. It's just let them do it.
Well, they didn't have to go dark to tell a good story, or to make it edgy enough that people would want to buy it. It was always just good. Solid motivations.
They won Emmys. I mean, they used to show Batman the animated series on prime time.
Yeah.
When it first came out.
It doesn't make any sense. And now I don't believe anything they say. Because, it was, we were going to get Gotham City Sirens, and now that's off the slate. Which is, and you guys should check out, he has a Sirens picture.
Oh, yeah.
And it's friggin' sweet. Like, it looks better than, like, the ones in the actual Gotham City
Yeah, it's pretty
Sirens.
tight.
Like, it's amazing. But, like, that's off the table, and now, Joss Whedon, we were talking earlier, he's not doing Batgirl. I don't believe we're ever going to get...
That makes me angry.
I don't believe we're ever getting a Batgirl movie. I want one, but I don't believe we're ever going to get one. Not how we should.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well,
it's
things
gonna
can change. And, we've seen that happen where a studio kind of changes their view and goes a different direction. And then you start getting, I would have never thought we would have an Ant-Man movie. I never thought we would have a Black Panther movie, but yeah, we've had these movies in Marvel. I think DC can do it. It's just a matter of trying to figure out how to be able to get there without causing the WB to come down and really overrule a lot of stuff. Right.
Well, one of their movies has to hit $1 billion first. Because all those other movies you just talked about was made because Marvel had pocket change. Go ahead and do that.
Right.
Because all these movies did. Thor 3 did $1 billion.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 did $1 billion. So yeah, they got some money from Ant-Man, and Ant-Man did $500,000?
Yeah.
More than that, and the same thing with Black Panther's going to do $1 billion.
Yeah.
Right.
So because you could just, they paid their purchase price back from Jordan. And oh, by the way, we're going to make a Star Wars film every year. So
Right,
they're going
right.
to and they paid $4 billion for that. They made the purchase price back in a year.
Yeah.
So that's why he's getting these movies. But they do like she just said, she just said, and so did Keith. They left him alone.
Right.
Just do your movie.
That's exactly right.
Just do your movie.
Kevin Smith had a comment a couple weeks ago. He said, they're not going to have any more X-Men movies because Kevin Feige said, just wait till I get there and then we'll get this all squared away for you guys.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing too, is I think they're gonna try and push the Dark Phoenix. Jesus, let's just stop. Just stop doing it. Stop. But they're gonna push Dark Phoenix like it's Marvel. Like hands down, they're gonna be pushing it like that it's that it's the MCU Marvel is I think what they're gonna do, and they're gonna push and push and push for that, I think. But again, we've seen it. She's been the Dark Phoenix. She's gonna screw it up again.
Well,
But it's just stop doing it.
Well, Fox is gonna try to clear the slate a little bit. From what I'm hearing now is they're gonna try to push to start work on the next X-Men movie by starting filming on that in June. Because that way they can clear the slate, because basically, once they make this movie, everybody's contracts are up. And then they're just done.
I feel bad for all the young kids, because I thought the young kids were good in Apocalypse. Like the girl from Game of Thrones, that Sophia Turner. I like her as Jean Grey. I'm like, I can see that. It's not, it doesn't matter. I feel bad for her now, because it's like, well, go back to Game of Thrones. You're probably
The
going to get
problem
killed
with
on that.
Fox is that you've got a young actor in Ty Sheridan that's about ready to blow up. If you do not recognize that name, you will after this summer.
Ready Player One, right?
Ready Player One.
And he's
exactly.
Cyclops, if you've seen
He's
it.
Cyclops.
He's Cyclops.
They got him on a cheap price. Look, there is no way anybody that's currently a part of any of these X-Men films through Fox, they're all fired. That's the best way I can tell you. They're gone. Because there's no way the Mouse is going to hire them back. Ty Sheridan's going to ask for a whole lot of money when Ready Player One blows up.
Have you read the book?
I have not read the book. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. But, I mean, from,
Hardly.
on that tip, Ty Sheridan would be those rights to ask for a lot more money. So the Mouse is not going to hire any of these people back. A lot of people like the guy that's Evan Peters, who's originally from St. Louis. They like him as Quicksilver. He's gone. He will be gone. His contract is officially up with the next movie, Dark Phoenix. So doing one more movie, he'll have to be hired to stay on for one film beyond what his contract states. But there is no way Disney's going to be hiring him to play Quicksilver.
See, and it
They've
makes
already
me.
done Quicksilver.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. It makes me sad because as much as we're kind of dogging on the X-Men films, because I like some of them.
Yeah.
But they did Quicksilver better than Marvel.
I
Like,
agree.
I'm sorry, like,
No,
they did Quicksilver way better than Quicksilver's done in Ultron. That was disappointing, like, in my opinion.
That was a bullet sponge.
Yeah, like, so,
Exactly.
so disappointing.
It is what it is, but the thing is that, contracts have already been signed. Look, the inside word is you'll be seeing him again.
Quicksilver? Just bringing people back from the dead.
Well, it is a comic book movie. That's
Yeah, it
not
is.
unheard of, bringing people back to
Just
the
bringing
dead.
people back.
But-
I feel like when you do
Jean
that.
Grey.
But see, I feel like when you do that though, I feel like unless you're time traveling and bringing somebody back, like you're changing the past,
Yeah.
which gives me a headache. I feel like that's fine, but I feel because it's a problem that I have, and we've discussed it before. It's a problem that I have with the first Avengers movie because I love that movie. I'm a big Joss Whedon fan. I love the Avengers movie. Spoilers, you should have seen it by now. When Coulson gets killed. That was such a powerful, very Whedon moment.
Yes.
And I hated that they brought him back. I know that they explained it or whatever, but to me, yeah, like to me, like the whole point of that was him being human, making this giant sacrifice for the world that didn't know him. They didn't know Coulson from anybody. And it was this big, powerful thing. And to me, all you did was just take that right away. And a lot of people I know like the S.H.I.E.L.D. show,
Yeah.
and that's great. But I feel like that was just, I don't know, I feel like you just didn't do your character justice. Because that's the whole point, is he did a self-sacrificing moment.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he was a hero. He's more of a hero than the heroes were. Because they're in the fame and the spotlight and stuff. So it's just, I don't know. So that's my problem that I have with some of the Disney now ran stuff, is that I feel like they just don't pull the trigger, or they pull the trigger and then say, oh, it's okay, we'll bring him back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
Everybody comes back.
ugh.
That's true.
Yeah, but I feel like they shouldn't in the
Captain
movies.
Marvel, and he still gets good splits.
This is why Marvel is better than the DC, because, Disney will bring back characters that make money. And Coulson is a moneymaker
See?
for everybody. And that's why Marvel's universe is so much better in movies than DC, because DC doesn't care about making money, they care about what they think and not what.
See, and I don't, and from like a story writer's perspective, if I write and I kill a character off, I'm killing that character off for a reason.
Yeah.
Regardless if they're a moneymaker or not. Like with Coulson, I get that he's a moneymaker. And so financially, I understand that it's smart because the show's still on. So I understand the financials of it. But I mean, like, from like a story writer's perspective, Joss Whedon was doing something to show the fans, I can take your characters away,
Right.
and it's gonna mean something. It'll mean something. You should be sad. This should have weight to it. And so the fact that I feel like they took it away from him, and I feel like it was done on purpose, because you see what happened with Ultron.
Yep.
I feel like it was done on purpose, and it was not necessarily because they thought they could make money off of him. I feel like it was more of a slight towards him and what he was wanting to do.
I think he raises a good point, though, the fact that when you deal with movies that make billions of dollars, they don't care if you're what you wrote down on the paper or not.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
what makes money. I mean, he's right. I mean, it's going to be. That's why if the movie's not going to be. You're dealing with billions of dollars. You're going to do what they tell you to do.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That sucks. I mean, but it's,
if Marvel came in the door and said, "I'll pay you to write all of these characters back," I'll sell out fast. I'll write all of the characters back. I'll do whatever the mouse wants. If the mouse wants me to write Dark Phoenix 6, bring it on. I'll do it.
It's like
That's
Winston,
not.
yeah, it's like Winston Zedmore said in Ghostbusters: "If there's steady paycheck, and then I'll believe anything you say."
Yeah, exactly.
Great quote.
It's exactly the exact same thing. But if I had my way, like,
Well, of course. I mean,
if I had my way, I wouldn't do that.
But
because-
the only person that gets his way is George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ain't coming back.
No, right. Nobody
But
comes
it's
back.
like, but how much more do you like that though? Like that it has a weight, and it's like I kind of feel anxious every episode.
It's HBO though. This is
Yeah,
not.
it's like,
It's
they're
basically
gonna die.
Marvel's philosophy. I think is how are we going to put Grandma in the theater?
Right.
Right.
And he's
Hey,
right.
my
right there,
grandma,
you
my
know?
grandma likes some dark stuff.
Yeah, but still, that's why Marvel's successful.
Good job.
That's why Avengers.
Yeah, I did have my grandma was
You
awesome.
look at, I mean, that's why Avengers is so successful. Everybody's grandmother. You don't have to backstory. You know Thor. You know Hulk. You know whatever.
Right.
Joss Whedon wrote a movie that Grandma will go to.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
And
Grandma's
I
in the
know.
theater.
Yeah, and I loved it. I was so, well, and I'm a Whedon fan, so I was expecting somebody to die, because he does it to everybody. But you know what I mean? I was just like, oh,
I know.
got me in the feels, Whedon. And they're like, oh, we're bringing Coulson back. I'm like, what?
Well,
He died.
well, one Colston.
This isn't Buffy. You can't bring people
Oh,
back with
so that was going to be
spells.
my next point. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually, Joss was involved in creating that with the whole idea Coulson was coming back. So he was
Very
involved with
limited.
that. The other thing is, you can't complain about this and then say you're okay with Buffy coming back.
Buffy's
I mean, really.
different. That's spiritual.
Oh, okay, right.
That's spells.
All right,
That's
so that's
spells.
it. All right, so
That's spells. And
Tahiti,
And
spells,
they
whatever.
And they shouldn't. I'll be the first to tell you that there's some characters they should have never brought back, and he knows that too. He's admitted it.
And
There's
there's
people he
characters that
shouldn't have
disappear.
killed. Yeah, no, that. Oh my God, I just read a fan theory about Dawn the other day, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind. Do you guys watch Buffy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, real fast, sorry, you watch Buffy. You get it. Okay, so, listen,
Like the old Xbox game.
I do too!
Yeah,
That's
Joss-
why I got an Xbox.
Joss
just
wrote
for
it.
that.
Joss
Just
wrote
for
it.
that game. Okay, Chaos Bleeds and the... and
Chaos
the-
Blades is like Scrappy Doo.
Yeah, it's not as
No.
good. So there's this fan theory coming out now that Joyce, so like the big thing is, again, spoilers, you should watch Buffy at this point. Joyce dies, and it was the big thing that she's the only character that died of natural causes. There's this big theory now that the reason why she had a tumor and died was because they brought Dawn in, and the monks had to change everyone's memories, and her memories would be the ones that had to be changed the most because she had to remember giving childbirth. And so they're saying like that's what it was, and it actually wasn't a natural death.
I would love
that
to
it
hear
was.
that. I would love to hear Whedon explain it.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
and like
That's what it was. Yeah.
well, he's always said it was a natural death. Like, he's just like, it's important because we didn't want it to be a demon thing. We
Sure.
want it to be like a real life, like this is real life situation. But how wicked is that?
Some
theory,
Oliver
though?
Stone JFK shit, right?
Yeah, I was just, it blew me away and I felt dumb for never thinking about it. Like, I was just like, God, never once did that cross my mind. I felt like an idiot, sorry. That's neither neither here nor there, but
That's all good.
it did blow my mind a little bit, like, because I like live Buffy.
Well, that's why I brought Buffy up, because I'm like, I don't know.
See, but it's okay. We'll discuss it another.
We'll
We'll discuss it
discuss-
another show. We'll have
We
a whole
will.
Buffy show.
Oh, and we will have a Buffy show. That'll be awesome. Along with DC News, Scott Snyder, who was a writer on Batman, well-loved writer on Batman, is now going to be taking over Justice League. Speculation at the panel at Planet Comic-Con, because he had said the words, "We are taking over Justice League," while he's on the panel there with Greg Capullo and Jonathan
Glapion.
He said we. So the possibility is that they all three may be jumping over to Justice League. So he is now taking on the premier team. I know, isn't that amazing? Yeah,
That is amazing.
that was really cool. He said that at the metal panel. Along with that, though, so that's kind of our DC Comics news. Marvel Comics news is they are starting a new initiative called Fresh Start, which basically is taking all the stuff they did last year with Legacy, moving all the numbers back to what the Legacy numbers were, bringing the characters back, and we're throwing it out the window and going back to number ones. So...
Are you guys gonna do that? Just like, never mind.
Volume 2.
Never mind. Here's something else.
No, never. Strictly linear. The only way you'll see issue 1 come back out of like Image, God.
Yeah.
If like the Dark Crystals, Triple Suns collide and they pick us up, and you know,
And they're like, hey, we
the
want
Skeksis
you to
show up with the Mystics, and they're like, yeah, we'll take you. Really? They'll probably release number 1 again.
Right.
Bring all of
That'd be
them.
awesome.
No,
That would be
well,
awesome.
give him more time to catch up, and
It would
you
be
know,
sweet.
but yeah, we can only finish with it. No, yeah. I don't know. I think they treat Marvel like, I think they treat the Marvel comics now like TV shows.
Yeah.
They just reboot seasons.
Right. Well,
And it's exhausting. That's why and I hate reading. You collect one title. That's what makes Image and back in the day Vertigo so good, was that you just read one title.
right.
You don't have to read 8 titles to get the story. It's just,
Yeah.
But I get it. It's a moneymaker, you know. And it's just. But
And I think they've
Fiscal
learned
is
some of
smart
that.
for them.
They honestly are trying to keep a lot of stories self-contained. Occasionally you'll still see some crossovers, and then you have your big yearly or twice a year or whatever crossover thing that just drives me crazy. But they are keeping a few legacy numbers: Captain America 700, Iron Man 600, Amazing Spider-Man 700, Thor 700 are all coming out this year. So but will they keep those numbers afterwards? It's not been said, but they may, especially as those numbers continue to get larger. And if Action Comics 1000 does well, they may keep those numbers because
If?
okay, when it does well, yeah, and it's supposed to be an awesome issue from everything I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So
I just think it makes it hard for comic book people, like people that are trying to get into comics.
yeah.
I think they kind of make it difficult for people to get into comics.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think the problem
Doing
was
it that way, I mean.
Legacy. The idea was to take the numbering back, to be able to hit those fans that have been collecting for years, and you don't have to look and see. Look, this is volume number 5 of Captain Marvel, and number 1 again. Why are we doing a new number 1 every year? But what they found though was the new readers got really confused how you can go from issue 23 to number 453. So like, oh, they didn't put anything on there to kind of help the readers along, the readers. I think that was part of the problem. So they're still trying to really shake things out after DC's hit with Reborn, and they haven't hit yet. They keep trying to figure out how they're going to hit. Some of their stories are still great, but some of the stuff they're doing is kind of wonky that way.
And if you ever need help, if you're trying to get into comics, you can go to the Comic Cave in Springfield, and you can ask them, and they're really good about telling you.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
you can say, I love werewolves, and they could say, well, here, these are the things you should kind of look at, which is nice for especially new people trying to get in. They're really good about trying to help fit you into a comic that you would like.
And they'll listen to the thunder on top.
Yep. Yep.
Because they'll be
well,
like, once you read this, you may not want to read the others, but
Well,
there's only one issue,
yeah,
so.
yeah.
There's good werewolf titles out there right now.
Yeah.
They're cool.
They'll pair it with other things. you
Right,
know?
right.
Listen to the Thunder and Werewolf by Night.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cullen and Jeremy Hunt put out a really good one from Vertigo, the Wolf Moon.
Yes, the Wolfman, I remember reading.
Wolf Moon was really good.
Yeah.
I like how it would spiritually jump from different things. That was
Yeah.
fun.
it
See it.
is, was it Harrow
Harrow
County?
County.
Oh, Cullen's
What did you say?
Harrow County.
Harrow.
Yeah, that's probably
That's another one of the, it's like a,
Dark Horse horror
Yeah.
title that he writes.
Yeah.
Some of the best writing he's ever done.
He writes for everybody.
It's good.
And
Very
all the
prolific.
time, he's amazing. So,
Prolific, very prolific.
some other news, Chris Samney, who's been partnered with Mark Waid for years, Daredevil, has been doing Captain America. He's leaving Marvel after 10 years. He's saying goodbye. There's rumors that Mark Waid may be following out the door at Marvel, which that will be a big hit for Marvel because those two do some great work together.
They like the Brubaker Phillips,
Yeah,
team. I mean, they're a solid team.
they are a very solid team, and anything they've done together has been beautiful and well written. Dan Slott's moving from Spider-Man to Iron Man. And one of the big news is Jason Aaron, who's done tons of cool stuff, is moving to Avengers. Moving from Thor to Avengers.
In the middle of
The interesting thing with Aaron moving is that it was announced that he was going. Scott Snyder and him got into a Twitter discussion, including, hey, you're doing Justice League, I'm doing Avengers, let's do a crossover. Like Usyk and Perez. Holy cow, I would pay to see them write and draw that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be really cool.
That would be
I
cool.
like the crossovers. That's the thing too, is people want to argue Marvel, DC. You can like both.
You can.
I mean, it's like most of those guys write for both. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they bounce
They
back.
have at least some point.
Yeah, they bounce back and forth. So I mean, it's like you don't have to pick and choose. You can't be like, you like DC, we can't be friends.
Right.
Like you like Marvel, get out of my house. It's like that doesn't have to be that way at all.
I asked Jason Aaron at one of the panels on last week at Planet what he would, what character would he like to write that he's not actually written. He goes, I don't think I'm really a comic book writer until I've written Superman. Since I've not written for DC, that'd be pretty cool. So.
Man, it would be cool to like write for an iconic character.
Yeah, right.
Like that everybody knows.
And then have to come up with stories that have not been told or adjustments to stories that have been told to kind of further the character along. That would be interesting. So.
I think they should all just do a horror spin-off. How fun would that be?
Aaron is
They have all the characters to do it. They have a lot of time to do
You
it.
should do that. You should do like horror versions of the characters.
Oh, heck,
You know what I
yes.
mean? Like
Commissions available. people.
like zombie Superman, or
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like Friday the 13th. You know what I mean? Like do like a Jason Voorhees Batman.
Oh, that would be fun.
Like, I don't know. Just make them put them all in their own horror film.
Yeah,
That's all right. That
That'd
was
be
my
sweet.
real job.
That's a real job.
Sorry.
I actually see probably Freddy more as Batman.
Like, wouldn't that be cool though?
No, that'd be stupid.
To do like a comic run of like these iconic comic book people, but as like horror, like give them like a monster twist or like a horror twist, and just do like one-offs.
Well, they're kind of doing that with metal.
Oh man, that
Right.
is wicked.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
seen that one
Yes.
with the Robins?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask like if Batman was like Freddy Krueger or something.
No,
That's
like,
ridiculous.
Not necessarily but I mean like do like that horror vibe with them.
I think that'd be
was
great.
Wicked.
Well, I mean, the movie The Dark Knight kind of has that vibe right there. I mean, I thought that we should an R just for intensity purposes.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah,
but
that was
or Arkham Asylum.
pleasure. Yeah. See, and that game freaks me out when I play it by myself.
Okay.
Arkham Asylum.
Oh, that's great.
Like, you turn into a little kid and like you're like walking around and like the room starts twisting. I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like, what is this? This is a video game. What's happening right now?
Were you guys in on the? I'm sorry, I had to leave. Were you guys in on this?
We're down to Dark
Dark
Horse.
Horse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, talk about Joss and
Coming
him
back.
leading Batman, a Batgirl movie. He's going to be writing Buffy season 12 for Dark Horse.
The entire one.
Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
the
they
news-
say.
That's what the
We'll
news
see.
is saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
what
he's
they
going to be
say.
writing the whole run. So,
I'm pretty.
But it's only 4 issues. It's a mini.
Yeah.
Season 12.
it's a small season.
Which is insane.
Are they ending the comic or something?
I don't know.
See, my question is, and this is kind of like where I think might be, okay, since Disney is trying to purchase 20th Century Fox, I'm gonna get your guys' opinion to help me understand this.
Yeah.
If Disney is purchasing 20th, it has to do with the Buffy stuff. If they're purchasing 20th Century Fox properties, so what does that mean? That Disney's gonna get Aliens, Predator, Buffy,
Yes.
Whoa, yeah,
Firefly, all that stuff?
They are purchasing, but it's not because, I mean, they're purchasing it because of their new service that they're
Right.
offering. They want all the
Internet.
movie and TV properties, so technically.
And the comics go to them too?
Everything attached
Dark
to
Horse
it.
would go
After-
under. They can't
after-
survive on Hellboy alone.
They go back after the contract ends.
Yeah.
Because
The
when-
Buffy comics, the rights are to Dark Horse. Like I'm pretty sure Joss has the rights to those.
Okay, I didn't
He
know.
Star
doesn't
Wars-
have the rights to the TV
Because
show.
20th Century Fox put out the Buffy
Yeah,
stuff.
he does not own the rights to the show.
Dark Horse owned the Star Wars comics rights.
And they
for a
got
long
it.
time.
That was a big
And
punch in
then
their
when
pocket.
when Disney bought Star Wars, once the contract ran out, but they still made Dark Horse comics with Star Wars for quite a while afterwards. But once the contract ended, then of course it came back to Marvel. So. And Marvel did some good stuff with that. But yeah, that did kind of mess up for Dark Horse. But you're right. What happens when these characters' contracts for these comics run up with Dark Horse? Will Marvel even want some of those? I mean, are they going to want the Aliens and the Predator comics? Maybe.
Well, they have Deadpool. They're already talking about doing that. See, that's my thing. Is like they're saying they'll try and make it rated R. What do you mean you'll try? You either do it or you don't.
Yeah, the movie will fail if it doesn't.
It's
Well, the new
gonna.
trailers. I mean, the new movies are.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, the
yes, it
second
is,
one is,
yeah.
but like, so that's
So
still.
going forward, what you're saying.
Yeah, going forward, they've stated,
PG-13
we will,
Deadpool
yeah,
would fail.
they've stated, we'll try to make it R. What does that even mean?
No, then what they should do is probably move it to the Netflix, which they won't because it's such a way to
Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, make it.
But they're gonna have their own, like, Disney's talking about having their own
Streaming service.
streaming
That's
service.
what's happening.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but that's the thing, it's like the Netflix, are they gonna take all of their stuff off
Yes.
Netflix?
Yes, they are.
It's like, so what you tell me, so now I have to have yet another streaming service just to
Yes.
watch these shows?
Yes.
problems.
I know, right? Yeah, it's like,
Well,
jeez.
I mean, that's the great thing about a show like Titans, which you're only going to be able to watch on the DC streaming service. So.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, come on, can't we all get
And,
along?
and we don't really know much about the streaming service. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But that DC streaming service, they haven't really given us a lot of information, how much of it costs, if it'll cost, and what's going to go on with it.
Yeah.
But yes. All right.
I buy enough of their comics, I should get it for at least a year for free.
Right, I know.
Well, they'll have the little thing that you got to pull off to make your comic work.
Probably.
You have to use that to get the code. And, yeah.
What happens when Disney buys DC?
I don't know, I don't know.
DC movies.
World
World
Wow.
To answer your question.
Harsh. That hurts. I think both of us took a hit on that.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
Because I mean, regardless of what people think of the DC movies, people continue to say that these movies have failed, and they haven't.
Right.
They have made a crap ton of money. They may have not have made $1 billion each franchise, like each.
Yeah, you're right.
But they've made.
Well, they measure the movies now like the college football season. It's either you make $1 billion or you fail.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Which
seriously,
again,
either you go undefeated or you suck. You know, it's
or
like,
again, can we state the fact that what world are we living in that you can make almost $900 million and they say you're a failure?
Right,
Because that's
right.
what BVS did. So it's like, you cannot tell me it's a failure. You know, people say Suicide Squad is a failure. It made, again, a crap ton of money,
Yeah, but
made all
still-
this money back, and got an Oscar.
it got handed its lunch by Thor 3.
Still.
I mean, seriously,
but
but-
that's what I'm saying, even
That's
though.
execs, man. They're running the business.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's like the world we live in today.
Oh no, it's
You
I
cannot
agree
tell
with
me
that.
a movie that made $900 million. You cannot say, yep, that failed.
I'll
Yeah,
take it.
but a movie about a tree and a raccoon gave a middle finger to it in the box office.
But still, though, that's, I don't know, and that's something we haven't seen though. And again, that was an indie director that they literally said, do what you want, we're not going to touch anything. Because they
I
said,
know.
like, because Joss Whedon was like jealous. Like he was like, ugh, I am super jealous of everything that's happening to James Gunn. Because it's like, oh, that's what it's like? to get the one you want?
Because they didn't care.
And then
They're like,
not,
we don't
not
care
be
if this movie
messed
makes
with?
$5. This is just FU money because we just have all this billion.
Right.
Oh, who needs more? We just made $1 billion off Batman. Here you go, James Gunn, the director of Slither, and all of a sudden, holy crap, we just made Firefly. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, so James Gunn, he's good, right? Like,
He's always
what
been
happened?
good.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, right.
But like to Keith's credit though, leave him alone. Just
Yeah.
do your movie. you
That's.
know?
I think they should do that. I would like to see. Oh, wait, I did see that happen with Wonder Woman. They left her alone, and it's like again, and again, people with Justice League, they're like, yep, DC needs a win. So if we already forgot that Wonder Woman was a win, it's like
Right.
you've already just been like, nope, that didn't win anything. That wasn't
I
good.
think they were more looking at your characters of Batman and Superman, where have they won lately, and since, it's been Dark Knight, since a lot of people really love Batman, it's been, and I actually think, you compare, I think Wonder Woman is the best DC movie since Batman '89, but that's me.
I love that. Yeah. I saw Batman '89 in the theater. I love
Yeah,
that.
me too.
I love that film.
Keaton,
Well-
man, Keaton.
My thing is this, you know, I have friends that live out in the LA area. When you live out there, you have the ability sometimes, if you're lucky, to see advanced versions of films well before the general public does. And the best example of really how bad this has gone for Warner Brothers is I know a couple people that actually saw an advanced version of Suicide Squad. And they continue to tell me that the theatrical version of that movie is way different than the version that they saw and that they loved. They thought Suicide Squad, the version that they saw, was fantastic. And they were telling all their friends, wait till this movie comes out, you're going to be blown away. The theatrical version comes out, and it's nothing like the movie they saw.
Tell them what I said to you though when we watched it in the theaters. I was smiling the whole time.
Sure.
I
You
was,
loved it.
I was
You
having a
loved
good
it.
time.
And,
I was having a good time.
and that's not the first time that has happened. I had a friend that worked on the visual effects for Age of Ultron, and he told me that the theatrical version of the movie is not even close to what was actually, what Joss Whedon had actually envisioned and what he shot.
Right.
But Disney's never going to release that version because the movie made a lot of money. But
Again, even though people forget, that movie had so much flack.
yeah,
And again, they want to blame the director when it's not, 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
it's not the director, it's the production company
Yes.
that's pulling the strings behind the scenes.
they cut out a lot of character stuff out of that movie.
Right, you can tell.
There's a lot of character stuff that was cut out of Age of Ultron.
And they made him put that stupid Thor scene in
Yeah.
where he's in the water. I like that
Yeah.
guy, and it's great when he has his shirt off, whatever. But the fact that that's in there because they feel they have to dumb it down. If you don't talk about the Infinity Stones, no one's going to remember. Yeah, we are. This the whole thing is about it. Like, you don't have to keep, it's like there's one in the movie.
Yeah.
They put it in a dude's forehead. We don't need you to like, say, here's a map, and we're going to point all of these out again, and it's going to be Thor half naked in a water pit, because that's the only way you can understand it. It's like, that was not needed, and he was forced to put that in there.
How can we get Black Widow half naked in the water pit? That's what I want to know.
It won't happen, because they're never going to give you a Black Widow movie.
They are. They're going to give us a Black Widow movie.
I'll believe it when I see it.
They're going to give us a Black Widow movie, and it will be awesome.
They will get it because they made Ant-Man.
She should have had one already. Do you know what I would do if I was her? And you guys will laugh, because obviously this is a very Marvel-heavy room. If I was Scarlett Johansson, because she should have had a Black Widow movie already.
No, she should have, yeah.
Already. If I was her, I would be like, hey, so am I shooting Black Widow this year? And if they said, ooh, no, it's going to be like next year, I'd be like, okay, I'm done. And I would say, hey, DC, you want to do Gotham City Sirens and I'll be your Poison Ivy? Sold. And just have her jump ship. That's what I would do.
Would
because
definitely be.
I feel,
Warner Bros. Doesn't have FU money like Marvel has. Right
well, I'm telling you, she's not getting paid. She is not getting paid anywhere near what she should be getting paid.
No.
She should have got a movie right after Iron Man 2.
No, she should have.
Because Iron Man 2, she was the best part in that movie. I'm like going, dude, we got Black Widow, and she's awesome.
She should have gotten a movie right after Winter Soldier because she
Definitely.
went on the lam, and it's like, do a spy movie.
It was-
a spy movie.
It was a spy, you know,
That's
friend
what they were
movie. That was
setting
just
up for.
awesome. Yeah,
They were
that
setting up for it.
That was a
because-
perfect move for her. She could have. They should have done that with her character then. You're right. Or even after Iron Man 2. As soon as you introduced her, dude, take her and run with her. She's an awesome character. And freaking Scarlett Johansson. Who doesn't want to? You know, what guy doesn't want to go watch her in the theater?
You don't have to say just guy. What person doesn't want to go watch her?
Well, right.
She's
I was
great.
starting there, like, okay, I don't know.
And it's like, and again, I know people were dogging Ghost in the Shell. I love her in that movie. I love Ghost in the Shell. Have you seen it? Oh my god, it's like, have you watched Altered Carbon?
Altered Carbon's great. So.
Yeah, like the tech in it's awesome. It blew, but I haven't read, I haven't read or seen anything about like the original Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
But like watching it, I'm like, I feel if people would have just watched it, they would have
Sure.
got what
Yeah.
they did
Yeah.
with it.
She's
But
very talented. She's very
yeah,
talented.
she's great in that. She's
Her,
so
both,
good in it.
both her and Gal Gadot are just fantastic.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Wouldn't it be fun to see them in a movie together? you know, as Wonder Woman and Poison Ivy. Just saying. That's what Gal Gadot wants. Not Poison Ivy, but she wants to be in a movie with Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Like, she's like, I want Wonder Woman to go against Harley Quinn.
Seems
Just
like
give
an
'em what
unfair
they
fight
want.
to me, so, but,
I don't know, I feel like Harley would do some
Are you
very
kidding
horrible
me? She
stuff.
like Wonder Woman would just throw her across the
I
room.
feel like
she's a demigod.
Yeah, exactly.
Harley's willing.
It's not human.
Harley's willing to kill people. Wonder Woman's not.
Wonder Woman blows on her, she breaks a face. She breaks a leg.
Agreed.
You guys are yelling at me. Gal Gadot said it. She wants it.
No, I'm just saying, but you're proposing like this
No,
video game fight
if-
of like Wonder
Oh,
Woman.
no,
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 you
no,
have
no.
to make Wonder Woman relying on Harley to figure something out. So you're actually going in, having her go into the crazy with Harley to be able to get something that she needs to be able to stop something.
Sure.
That makes
Yeah,
sense to me.
Like,
Going
how much,
head to head
how
with
much
her,
fun
though,
of a team up would that be, though?
you'd be like,
It's just like, oh, geez.
yeah, the
like, Harley's like,
crazy-
let me tell you how real life is.
You'll never see because they don't have
No,
they don't have the money.
they're
They don't have the
not
revenues.
going to.
They have the box office sales.
F you money.
Yeah,
I like that that's just what it's called.
It is, that's what Marvel has.
Mickey Mouse has FU.
Are you kidding? They own ESPN.
Yeah,
They own
the
everything.
mouse-
It's like
the mouse has
the
everything.
only reason Agents of Shield is on because it's like we just want to be relevant on television. That show is terrible. Agents of Shield is
I
terrible.
actually am enjoying these.
No, it
seasons.
sucks. It should have been canceled because of ratings. It should have been canceled, but it's FU money. No, keep it on.
Well,
keep
what they
it
should
on.
have done was left Agent Carter.
No, it should have been canceled. Yeah, well, Agent Carter should have still been on.
Agent Carter is what they should have kept.
It's like we want to be on Netflix, we want to be on ABC. It's just as long as we're relevant and bringing out this shit, you know, it's fine. Here, wait for the movie.
Hey, what do you get there? So.
If like the mouse is just sitting behind a desk and they're like, look, we've got to get rid of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because the ratings are horrible. And the mouse is like, here's $25 more million.
No, they did that. That's why it's still on. You're like, that show should have been canceled by like
He's
season
on a
2.
little cell phone. Just
Terrible.
whistling
I'm
on the
enjoying
cell
this
phone.
season, so I don't know.
I've had problems with the show from the get-go.
Well, I get that. Huh?
Which is Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, that's
Well,
all y'all. Dude, bring that on. I can't wait to see
Yeah, they're
that.
supposed to be doing it here pretty soon,
It's
right?
on. It's on
Freeform.
They just got done filming it.
Hulu. What state is it gonna be on Hulu?
I can't.
Freeform, I think.
Oh, Freeform. See that, and I like that. Runaways.
Yeah,
that was a
that's on
great
On
one.
Hulu.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah,
that was one of my
great
favorites.
show,
That
yeah.
Brian, I love. I mean, we talk about somebody influenced me. Brian K. Vaughan is just
Yeah.
fantastic. I mean, I love that. I love the fact that they let Brian K. Vaughan create his own characters in Marvel, which is unheard of.
Right. Yes,
I
it
mean,
is.
You just create your own characters. I mean, Cullen got to do Monsters Unleashed.
Right.
Got to
Yes,
create
he did.
characters. So I mean, it's just you have some clout when you can create your own character.
You certainly do.
Yeah.
So they're only going to listen to me if I can create my own character.
Weren't they gonna do something with the World Dinosaur too?
They just announced something about that.
That would be
yeah.
amazing.
They're
if they could
talking
do that
about
with
that.
So yeah, that would be awesome.
That's, I kind of like them to go back to the original Moon Boy in Double Dinosaur, just because those are kind of wacky, crazy tales from the mind of Kirby. So I'm like, dude, I would so watch that. But Moon Girl's cool. But you know,
Like you said, if a raccoon can do it.
Think
Exactly.
If
Say
a tree and a
raccoon can
raccoon.
make $1 billion. Yeah, so
In a tree that literally says I am Groot. Like, it's
Right.
like Vin Diesel was like, yes, I'll cash that paycheck. Like, if you just want me to say I am Groot one time and you're gonna do whatever you want with it. Let's do it.
it is the soundtrack makes that movie really even better.
Well, just the human emotion, just the characters alone. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, it's like you're watching lost episodes of Firefly.
Yeah, agreed.
You
I
know,
love
Agreed.
Chris Pratt. He's so good in that. It's one of my favorite. Winter Soldier and Guardians.
And those
It's
are
probably my
right,
two favorite.
right there with Avengers in my mind. So yeah, I'm with you. And Thor 3 is just phenomenal. So it just sits there with it. So all right,
Did you
movie news.
I've lost my pen. I don't need it.
I don't have another one.
I don't need it.
Wait a second, let me grab it in my
Movie news, we did talk
bag
a
of
little
tricks.
about Joss leaving Batgirl. The interesting thing to me was when he came out and stated, I didn't really have a story. And I'm like, that's hard to believe because he said he had a story for so long. I'm like, what does that mean?
That's because there never was a story. That's because he wasn't really hired to do Batgirl. He was only hired to come in and do Justice League. That's
It
it.
kind of makes sense if you think about it, like, get everybody excited that he's gonna do a Batgirl movie. And then it's like, so it segues into, oh, he's gonna finish up Justice League. That makes sense, because he's gonna be doing Batgirl. And instead it's like, let's just throw this out there.
Yeah.
Which stings, because I think you would have done a good Batgirl.
I think you would have. I look at some of the.
I say let Patty
like
Jenkins
year
do
one.
Batgirl.
Oh yeah. Some of the year one Batgirl stuff, you go back to that as your source material.
I
You
think-
can tell a great story there.
I think they should let Michelle McLaren do Batgirl.
Oh, nice.
She's a really good director,
She is.
and
Did you mean me?
yes.
You think I should do
Yes,
Batgirl?
you should.
Yes.
Once Netflix picks up Strange Happenings
Yeah.
and then you guys blow completely up,
Yeah.
they're going to be saying, Brittney, would you like to do Batgirl for us? And
Because
Scott?
we're never getting it, so even though they're saying it's happening, it may be 10 years from now before we actually get it.
Oh,
It's just so sad. There's so many really cool things I think they could do with the DC world. And
They could.
I just don't think they're going to do
And,
any of that.
you know, some of it they'll get around to doing, some of it they won't. Personally, at the rate they seem to be changing personnel behind the scenes, I'd like to say personally that we are a lot closer to getting a lot of these changes than we think. We're 5 years away from probably getting a chance to see Zack Snyder's original Justice League.
They're closing VisionCon floor.
So,
Yeah.
Stuff, so I heard
Yeah.
that.
They're closing?
Yeah, the VisionCon floor.
Oh, really? I didn't realize it was closing already.
I gotta go with my stuff.
All right, yeah, most definitely. All right, now back to Adam here. Welcome back, Adam.
What are we talking about?
Well, we were talking about Batgirl and how Joss stated he didn't have a story. Do you buy that? Joss Whedon not having a
It just
Batgirl?
disappoints me. It just
Yeah.
makes me sad.
Like it feels like he could have come up with something.
Yeah, because there's here's what it feels like. There's a comic he was going to do like 5 years ago, and there's a great piece, it's called like Twist or something. I was like, yes, let's do this. And then I feel like that now. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
I feel like he would have done something cool. And I think it would have been darker and I don't know. A lot of people don't like it. I like the new 52 Batgirl, where she comes off of like, you know, the Killing Joke happened to her, and she was Oracle, and then she gets her legs back, and it's like so you have that crazy, awesome baggage
yeah.
of what happened, but like instead of being fearful or like, oh, I can't be a hero anymore because of what happened to me. Instead, she's like, I can be a hero because of what happened to me, which is awesome. And it's like they won't do that one. They won't do black and gold. They're gonna do the purple and yellow selfie stick. She's a child, like cracking jokes. I guarantee you that's the one they do.
Well, and I'd like to see them do some of those year one stories where she is learning how to be Batgirl, and Batman's trying to get rid of her, convince her not to do it, but she's going to do it anyway, and he still steps in and says things to kind of help her out. No, you don't want to use that as your line for your Batarang. You want to use this and stuff like that. Make it a cool story there. Then you could do Killing Joke or something like that to give her that baggage, and then you could have her coming back. I think that would be, I would like to see them introduce the character and not assume people know who she is or what she stands for. Let them see that connection between her and Commissioner Gordon and all that. I think that would be, you could make an arc story with her, 3 or 4 movies long, to where you tell this story of where she goes from being the innocent girl who's looking at the Batman to going through the trauma with the Joker. Oh, I don't know, I want to do that. No, I'm not going there.
Yeah,
That's just wrong.
No,
Right? It's weird.
can't do it.
I told you.
It's weird. Yeah, at night it was like real weirded out. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'm like, I get it. It's
Weird.
Batman. Like, I think everybody wants to be with Batman. It
I know,
makes
I'm
sense.
not interested.
And he's like, no. He's like, that's bad.
Has anyone been reading the White Knight series?
I haven't.
Oh.
I haven't got to read it yet.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm pretty stoked. They're giving Harley a new backstory too. Is it so good?
Sort of.
Is it so
I
good?
can't, I'm not gonna give nothing away. It's amazing, guys. It's amazing.
I have it
Go
at the
read
house
it.
ready to read.
It's got the best comic book artists out there right now, besides Greg Capullo and Sean Murphy. So just pick it up. It's amazing. It's the perfect time for this story where you flip it and Joker becomes the protagonist of
Right.
the story. So it's bizarre. It's amazing, and it at one point brings back a lot of the old villains, and that's. I love his take. His Mr. Freeze, what he draws him, and Clayface is one of my favorites. So
was like, why haven't they done him?
It's too much. I don't think they believe people can relate to him.
Right.
That's where Batman in the series was.
Right.
Or just do Hush, and you can have a
Oh,
lot of them
all
in
that,
it.
yeah.
Like, just do the Hush storyline, and you can have all of the bad guys in it. How it should be.
Yeah.
That would be, because that's an amazing story.
Yeah,
I
they
agree.
don't, again, and Hush ties into Gotham City Sirens.
Yes, it does.
It's awesome.
It all comes back to
Yeah, it does. It all comes back to that because I would like that name.
All right, we also talked about Black Panther already and how much money they're printing at Marvel. Marvel has that printing.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's Disney. I mean, you make a Disney movie, they're just printing out cash. So.
You go to a room in the back and they're just like, hang on, let's turn on the press.
Now, can you get me some McDonald's? Will that be, I don't know, let's pick up some cash. 20,000, will that buy me a Big Mac? Out of
Yes, it will.
It'll be
The
something.
mouse never picks up cash off the ground.
It's like airlifted in with a drone.
All I can say is the mouse is kind of like Uncle Scrooge, right? He's jumping into the pile of money every night,
Yes,
swimming around.
absolutely. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
That's him. It
He's
wasn't
no longer
that
about,
movie
it's
was
actually
about
Uncle
him.
Scrooge is running it, not Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
oh, we need somebody that financially can make money for us. We're going to let you be the face of the company, but Scrooge is actually going to take over. So.
He's your accountant.
Scrooge has its like horror movie style of like Mickey's.
Oh gosh.
Scrooge is like got
You had a good
stands
childhood,
up.
right?
I did. I'm excited. I did. I'm just that's what's popping in my head.
No.
Get out of my swimming pool of gold. Just like take out the mouth.
All right, TV news has Metropolis being announced.
Yeah, from the producers of Gotham.
From the producers of Gotham, which kind of gives it a really interesting twist. If you like what we've done with Batman's backstory, let's tell you a bit from Superman's perspective in Gotham. And with Metropolis.
Didn't we do that with Smallville?
Well, sort of, Smallville, which
it
he
on
wasn't even
Sci-Fi?
Smallville most of the time.
Is it on Sci-Fi?
I'm not sure where Metropolis is.
It's going to be on the streaming service.
Streaming?
It's going to be on the streaming service. Oh, the unannounced streaming service, and we're not telling you how much we're going to charge you to have. So it's going to be on the streaming service with Titans.
Why did I think that was on Sci-Fi? I don't know. Whatever.
Because of Krypton.
Krypton is coming also, and that is going to be on Sci-Fi, where they're doing the story on Krypton a couple generations before.
really gonna wonder
that
who
kind
I
of has
am.
the feel of Caprica for me, where you're trying to tell these stories that happened before all this. It was a really cool image they released yesterday or earlier in the week of Brainiac. That looks really cool, the Brainiac for.
Yeah,
for,
I like how he
Krypton.
looks.
Yeah.
I have a problem with Sci-Fi because they got rid of Blood Drive. So
Yes.
I won't watch this show.
Are you still hashtagging Save Blood Drive?
Yeah, I do. I do it every week. I do it on Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays, there you
That's
go.
when the show is on. That's when I do it. We have a little tribe of people, and we do it every Wednesday.
You know what? If NBC
Sci-Fi
can
doesn't
change
care,
their
in case you're
mind,
wondering. They
if
don't
NBC
care.
can change their mind about Timeless and bring it back for the fans, it is possible Blood Drive can come back. You keep those fans
So
roaring.
many people were complaining because it's got so much violence and like
Yeah.
a lot of language, and there's like a hotline you can call into. It was great. It's a really great show. I love it.
Here's a show your kids shouldn't watch. So.
Yeah, they shouldn't, but it's a great show. It's a grindhouse television series.
Right.
You should watch it. It's on Sci-Fi's website right now.
Is this the image you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That is a really cool image.
He looks like Bowser from the Mario Brothers.
Oh wow. Well, and they
Not
actually-
that like that actor and everything.
They actually
Maybe
compared
it is
that
him.
image to one of the drawings of Brainiac. I forget who it was that drew it, but it looks exactly like it. So I'm like, wow. So they're actually taking some hints from the comic books. It's interesting he's not blue like Brainiac 5 on Supergirl.
Because he kind of looks like
Forget
Martian.
about that.
Martian.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's weird. So,
Yeah.
that-
It's kind of hard
I
to
didn't know Brainiac 5 was Creed, but whatever.
Hey. You're talking the Blanton stuff. Just move all that stuff off to the
Well,
side.
and Krypton's going to be Blanty, isn't he? Isn't that show going to be on Sci-Fi going to be Blanty?
I'm not sure if that's gonna be Berlanti or not. I got problems with it. I mean, you know, Adam Strange, really?
Right.
I mean, why don't you just do an Adam Strange television series? Why do you need to do Krypton? That's all my thing.
Because people recognize Krypton as being where Superman's from. Most people that aren't comic fans have no idea who Adam Strange is. And Adam Strange is a cool character, but they have no idea.
One
Yeah.
of the coolest.
See, but that's how you learn. You know, the more you know. And you do a show about it or a movie about it,
Brittney,
and then
we're
people
not
will start
here-
buying the comics.
We're not
instead
here
of
to
just
learn or
doing-
promote the comics. We want the change. Give it to me now. Give me the money.
I'm just saying.
Give me the money. Cash. Give me the cash.
Give me the cash. Like from Fifth Element.
Yep,
Give
exactly.
me the cash.
Exactly.
We don't be out there.
So we did talk a little bit about Titans TV show. Now, interesting, the Titans TV show is pulling out the stops, and they've been casting Doom Patrol, including Jake Michaels as Robot Man. Have you guys seen that? Have you seen the announcement? So Jake Michaels, and I forget what all he's been in, but he's a pretty decent name.
Since you put this together, they
Yeah.
also announced Elastigirl.
They've announced
Yeah.
Elastigirl, because I knew they'd announced a couple other people too. So that's they're going full Doom Patrol on this along with the Titans, which is an interesting take, because some of those stories where those characters combined and played together are some really interesting stories from the '80s Wolfman Parrish run. So
Yeah, I was hoping that they would just take it from the full history of
Right.
characters. Now, this show I think is Berlanti, and that's the only
this
troubling
that is.
portion to all of that. Not a big fan of a lot of what his MO seems to be, which is you start a show, you work on it for 2 years, and then you abandon the entire show, and you allow some other jerk off to come along and run it into the ground. But yeah, it's I'm sure it'll be good in its first 2 seasons. So
You know, since it's not on CW, I'm hoping it won't have this CW-esque drama that you have to have with those shows.
I
That
mean,
just,
like getting engaged and then breaking up.
oh
and
my
then getting
gosh,
engaged and
every
breaking up.
freaking episode.
you know, the
That's
guy
not what the
responsible
kids
for
want.
that is his best friend Mark Guggenheim, who was put in charge of everything in season 3.
In
You know,
season
when
three.
it started getting bad. So, but Mark Guggenheim, that's the name
There
of the
you go,
man
that's
who
one you
played-
don't see. Okay, but I'm excited for it. If I can, again, tell me how I can pay for this, or how I need to be able to watch this DC. I need to know what you're going to charge me a month, or if it's going to be a, you have to pay per episode or what. I'm interested in Titans. My biggest disappointment so far, other than hearing Berlanti's involved, is no Wonder Girl. That's my favorite Titans character, and she's just left out of everything nowadays.
I think they're hoping to have a Wonder Woman related television series. You going through and using Wonder Girl and all of that would help.
Yeah,
So,
as long as they don't make it the Wonder Girl from the old television show.
no.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So, Doctor Who? You guys Whovians? No. No Whovians? All
I knew
right.
I sat on the right end of the table. They are.
Doctor
They're
Who
just like
season-
all 3
Yeah,
years.
13th Doctor.
Nothing
Anybody
against
excited for the 13th
Yeah.
Doctor?
Nothing against Doctor Who. I've never got
I
it.
am
I'm
too.
just not
Same
into
here.
it.
Have you guys seen the new intro and the design of the intro for Doctor Who?
It looks incredible.
Yeah, it does.
Different music, a different look.
In
This
fact,
is like a whole new TV show.
a different music director.
Yeah,
They've completely
different-
changed everything.
Yeah.
Completely changed the director of the series. So they can pretty much go any direction they want. I'm kind of excited about it. It looks really cool.
You know, people who have never gotten into the show, tell them now's the best time to jump in.
Yeah.
New
Agreed.
Yorker needs to be a ginger, just saying, he needs to be a ginger.
I feel you.
You're not getting arguments up here. So.
Unfortunately, he'd be a ginger for a day, and then they kill him off and get a new doctor right after.
Things happen.
Things happen.
Well-
Things happen. Stuff happens.
It does happen. So, all right. Netflix announced Lost in Space. So we know Keith's reaction here is not positive at all.
It depends. It depends. if they're gonna actually base this on the original pilot for the show, I'm in. But if we're just gonna do what we've done with the movies, and that, I'm not feeling
They
it.
said it's supposed to be darker. Like it's supposed to be like a darker, more serious take, is what they're saying.
Yeah, which again, I'm
You
kind
don't
of.
like Joey Tribbiani
No.
being in Lost in Space?
That wasn't the problem. The problem. Have you ever seen the original
Gary
pilot?
Oldman's in that. You better forget
Have you
Gary
ever
Oldman.
seen the original pilot for the series?
I remember Gary Oldman's in there, yeah.
Completely different show than what they ended up going with. Because number one, there was no Dr. Smith. It was just about the family.
Right.
It was the adventure of space and the things that you can happen. I personally feel that that's the way to tell this story. That's part of the reason why they haven't been able to do a successful reboot, rebranding, is because you're trying to basically replace an actor in Jonathan Harris who brought something special to that particular role that was created just for him at that time and wasn't really a part of the original idea of how that show was supposed to go. My thing is, if you're not going to do that, just like with Planet of the Apes, if you're not going to do the original material, don't bother doing it.
Right.
You know, so.
They don't listen to people.
They don't listen to us.
Kevin, Adam, any thoughts on Lost in Space?
None.
No,
Yeah.
Kevin's like,
No,
I think
nothing.
you'd be hard pressed to make anything lighter than what he did with the
Oh,
movie.
that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
so kiddish.
I'm more interested in like a Galaxy Quest show. than
Oh, yeah.
Lost in Space.
Like a
Yeah.
live action.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. Well, my thing is, since it's going on Netflix, I'm going to give it a shot because
Sure.
Netflix has been putting out really good stuff.
They've been
So
hitting it out of the park.
I mean,
they have been.
Look at Sci-Fi Channel did with a cheesy Battlestar Galactica show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some of the best. I mean, that show won a Peabody. I mean,
That's
that,
on
the show
forever.
was the remake of the Battlestar
remake of
Galactica
it.
was.
And I love the original.
Yeah.
But
The original was great, but it
I-
was cheesy and clunky.
It
but
was. It
the
was.
product
The
of its
remake
time,
was
like
great.
Batman '89, is still fantastic. But you look at the respect for material.
Yeah.
I mean, Battlestar Galactica. I mean, I would follow that. James almost into
Yeah.
hell. And after
Right.
watching that, you're like, wow. So.
Yeah. So they, we'll see what they do, but I'm interested. So they piqued my interest. I'm like, if they would have said it's going to be on CW, it would have been passed. But they said Netflix. I'm like, oh, okay, this could be something.
Could be Land of the Giants.
It could be Land of the Giants. Talking about Netflix, Altered Carbon. We mentioned that.
Yeah, that is a
So
fascinating
Have
show.
you watched it?
Wow, it is a fascinating
So
show.
good.
It's like Blade Runner, but completely twisted. I mean, there's some,
Yeah.
it's the whole idea of having, basically, you can get a new body, just a sleeve. You can get a new sleeve whenever you die, and then they'll just bring you back.
If you're rich enough,
If
you can
you're-
just get a new sleeve anytime you want.
Right, that's true. And if you're poor, no telling what kind of sleeve you'll get. The interesting thing with the little girl that got pulled in,
Oh, God.
I mean,
Like
she's
an old lady.
to an old lady, because you're like, what is her problem? Why is she crying and all upset? And you come to find out it was a preteen girl who died, put into an old lady's body. Holy cow, that would be
It's
traumatic.
really cool. It's
Yeah.
really cool. So essentially, you could live forever. It's like in 2384, I think, is like the time frame that they're in, and you can jump worlds and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's people
Yeah.
that jump worlds. You don't get to really see that, but it's really
Yeah.
neat. And the tech is out of this world, and there's like really cool fight scenes, and
There are.
there's a lot of really interesting characters in it too. And it's the guy Joel, was it Kinnaman from Suicide Squad, who
Yeah.
plays
Yeah.
the Colonel. He is actually the main character, and he's phenomenal.
Yes,
like
he is.
blew me away. He's really, really good in it. It's another hard R, so if
Right.
you don't want your
Yeah.
kids watching a bunch of nudity and violence, I don't recommend it. But if that doesn't bother you any, then I would
Like
highly
Brittney's
recommend
parents.
it.
And is that something
Yeah.
that you could easily have grandma sit down and watch with?
Right, like I wouldn't watch it.
You're not getting grandma on that chair.
Yeah, like I wouldn't watch it with my parents. It's not like I would tell, like for instance, I would tell my dad, hey, you really should watch this show. Same with Blood Drive, and I was like, we can't watch it together, but you should watch it and then we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? So it's like not something I
'cause
would watch with
that
my
reaches
dad.
that odd space.
It does. Oh,
It's like
gosh,
telling your
yeah.
grandpa who loves westerns, hey, you should try Deadwood on HBO.
Right?
And
We're
he's
not
like,
gonna watch it
what
together.
was that?
Pretty much.
Guys on horses cursing, using every word in the book.
See, and that's what's crazy. I didn't even want to watch it because I hadn't heard about it, hadn't seen anything about it. I was going to take a nap. It has been a long week. And Knight's like, we should really watch this altered carbon show. I was like, meh, I don't really want to watch it. So I'm sitting there and I'm like closing my eyes and I open them and I don't know what they're like, the guard people come in and they're all black and they're wearing helmets and they have like red dots all over their face that are glowing. And I was like, what is this? Like, I'm in. And then we watched 4 episodes.
Exactly.
Just back to back to back to back. And he had to go to bed because he works weird hours. And I was like, are you sure you don't want to watch episode 5?
Yeah,
So we
just
can
one
be
more episode.
halfway
Just
done.
one more episode.
I was like, it just where it's just a halfway point. I'm sure something crazy is about to happen. No, so I just had to sit there knowing it was there in the beginning. Knowing I couldn't finish it when I could have. It's really good though. It's impressive.
Talking about awesome.
Sometimes you're the good boyfriend, sometimes you're the goat.
Responsibilities.
I
Worst of
know.
all time. One of those moments where you start watching something that's really awkward. Is I started watching Future Man. Have you guys seen that on Hulu? With my daughter, because she's huge. It's the guy which played Peeta from Hunger Games and.
Oh, Josh.
Oh,
Yes, and
I say it like I know him.
she's a big fan, and it looks like a funny show because it's this whole idea of this whole Terminator thing where people come back from the future. He's played a video game, so I'm like, this is like a starfighter, and then they're coming back from the future, and all this stuff. So I'm watching this with my daughter, thinking, okay, this is my daughter who has been into sci-fi, but it's kind of gotten out of it. I'm like, well, this will be a good way for father-daughter to bond. Yeah, it comes on, it says TVMA. I'm like, hopefully that's for blood and guts and some cursing. 10 minutes in, there's a scene, masturbation scene. I'm like, okay, we're done. Father's out. You're not watching this. No, we're done.
You just kicked your TV off the
Yes,
stand.
it's like, no!
Break it. Oh,
And they
God.
didn't actually physically show, but they, you know what's going on. I'm like, I can't watch this with my daughter. It just can't happen. So,
That's what, the same thing with blood drive, and I'm almost 32, but my dad told me about blood drive.
Oh, wow.
He was like, hey, you should watch this show, and so I tell Knight, hey, put it on the DVR to start recording, so I don't forget. And then like my dad hadn't seen it yet, and because he was recording it, and so we watched the first episode, and it's like literally in the first episode, someone's doing it in a car while they're driving the car, like saying horrible things. And I tell my dad, I'm like, oh my God, it was so good. We're never watching it together. Never. But make sure you're still recording it. And my dad calls me and says, hey, I watched it, and you're right. We can't watch it together. But I'm going to keep watching it because it's great. And I was like, yeah. Like, thanks for the heads up, because it was my dad. We hadn't seen previews for it. And I was like, Dad, thank you so much. Because it is really good. It's another really good show. I want to rank it.
7-3. Okay, great. All right. So quickly, just your guys' reactions. Have you seen there's movie and television trailers that have been released recently.
Yeah.
Just reactions to them. Jessica Jones season 2. You seen that?
Ready.
Ready? No.
Yeah.
Ready.
Those two haven't seen it. Did you guys like season 1, Jessica
I
Jones?
haven't seen it.
Okay.
Ooh.
If you like season 1, season 2 looks like it's just gonna ramp up even more. So it looks awesome. So it's a really cool, intense, very kind of dark place Marvel show over on Netflix. So the first season I loved. Timeless season 2. You guys seen the trailer for that? Did you guys ever see the series originally?
Yeah.
The series was saved because fans loved it so much they actually petitioned NBC over and over and over again, and they finally said, yeah, we're going to uncancel this. It is a time traveling show, and basically the repercussions of how they time travel. Basically the whole idea is a guy who's a bad guy steals a time machine, and they are working for a secret agency that goes out and tries to hunt him down and stop the things that he's causing, but he's doing it for a reason. So there's a lot of intrigue and mystery in it and what's going on. Really cool show. Second season looks really cool from the trailer. The Solo movie.
And And I mean, it's even, if you guys seen the recut with the Beastie Boys?
I loved it.
It's
Yes.
awesome.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's awesome. They put it to they actually time it up with
Sabotage.
Sabotage. And just
Yeah.
like, if that was the soundtrack for the movie, I think Solo's gonna be fun.
Yes.
I mean, this is the product of them making back, their $4 billion purchase for somebody's ideas.
Right.
Yes.
That you're gonna get a Star Wars story and a Star Wars canon every year. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Right.
Because they just keep. I mean, I thought I liked Rogue One. That was great.
Yes, I did. I love Rogue One. Yeah.
And I think Solo's gonna be fun. I like it a bit.
I like the actor a lot.
As long as you don't ruin kind of the mystery of him, you can tell a story without completely having to tell his whole history.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
yeah, man, it's got Lando in it. Come on.
No.
Lando's awesome. I agree.
Donald Glover as Lando was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, brilliant casting choice.
So I agree. So
Do
I'm
you
all
think
for
that's
it.
why he was in Homecoming?
I'd
think
like
he
to
was-
think that he's got a lot more movies
Like, I'm just
coming.
wondering.
I think he was in Homecoming because people were calling for him to be Spider-Man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and they wanted to be Miles, and so because they weren't ready to do a Miles movie yet, they put him in there kind of as here. We want to give the fans sort of what they want, but not everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was him, I'd be mad though, because I'd much rather be Spider-Man.
Right.
I would
Right.
have been like,
Hey,
ooh.
but it comes down to Sony says here's a couple $1 million. Would you like to do this? Okay.
Again, I will take a lot of money
Yeah.
for that stuff. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, if you were him, wouldn't you be
No,
slightly
I would be like,
disappointed? if
I'm
that's
disappointed
why-
I can't be Spider-Man, but you're going to pay me to be in your
Right.
movie. Okay,
forget that.
fine.
Forget that. Now we need Donald Glover and the rest of the cast from Community to do the Community movie, and I'll be happy.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, the ultimate geek show.
Agreed. Pacific Rim Uprising. Have you guys seen the trailer for that?
There's someone from Springfield in it.
Is there?
Yeah, the main actress.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know she was from Springfield.
Yeah, the main actress is from Springfield. It's
Did
pretty
you guys
sweet,
like
yeah.
the original movie?
That's
I
what
Loved
did.
it.
I
Yeah.
thought anytime you put giant monsters and giant robots, I'm in. I mean, it's kind of like werewolves with you. Oh,
Yeah.
you said giant monsters and robots? I'm in. I don't care, but I love the first one.
And
so
Charlie
I'm
Day's in
excited.
it. You
Yeah.
can't go wrong with Charlie Day. He has like kaiju tattoos.
Oh,
Like he's just like, oh yeah, sell this bad boy. We're just like, you're just great.
Yeah.
Just like geeking out over his kaiju. Like
Yeah.
he's so great. I love Charlie Day.
I'm in. Incredibles 2.
Oh, and
Can't wait.
so
Been waiting a long time
Oh,
anyway.
exactly. If there was any movie you should have made a sequel to a long time ago, this was it, Pixar. I don't care about Cars 3. Incredibles 2. Thank you for finally making
How
it.
has Cars had so many sequels?
I don't know because kids love it, but
That's
all
why
I
I'm-
know
you know,
is
yeah,
Jack is awesome.
The only thing I want more from Incredibles 2 is more Frozone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more Frozen.
It's my super suit.
I know. Agreed. And I think it's cool that they're focusing on Elastigirl.
Yeah.
Her going out and being the hero rather than Mr. Incredible. I think that's fantastic. I'm like, that's really cool. So,
I think it's funny that they're all still like the same age.
Yeah.
well, it takes
So are the Simpsons.
Yeah, it just cracks, it
That's
just cracks me up.
right
Yeah.
after the end of the first one. So the whole
Underminer.
Underminer,
Yeah.
that's going to be in the movie. Them fighting the Underminer happens in this movie. So it takes them right as they're walking out and they start putting on their super suits to fight him. That's the movie we're getting. That's where it starts. They've not aged
No,
because
it's hard to get past that. Everybody wanted to see what they were going to do to the
I'm
other.
just, I'm
Right.
just curious why it took them so long to make
Oh,
it.
I don't know.
Well, it took a while to come up with a good
Yeah.
story.
It was the
Ratburn.
animation that they had to wait on to catch up.
Well, I'm glad they did. All I can say is thank you, Pixar. I'm excited. So. All right, are you up to some giving us some Sensei Keith information, or because I know you're a little under the weather, you may not have brought anything to share with us.
I don't have too much. I just have a prediction. We're within
Oh.
5 years of probably getting Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm telling you right now, we're within 5 years.
What if I die before then? Like, seriously, what happens? I mean, obviously, I won't know.
You're going to be directing the sequel to it by then.
Probably.
So.
I don't even like to kid about it, because it's like I get heart, like, palpitations, like, thinking, like, what if that was my future? Like, how great would that be?
It would be awesome.
Like, my next panel will be at, like, San Diego Comic-Con. So I'll just be like, hey, everybody, and you guys are like, I remember that one time when I sat in that room and listened to her talk about Buffy. And like,
Blood Drive.
Yeah, and Blood Drive. I remember that. How is she here?
Well,
How is she here now? I remember that.
She won an award and made $1 billion with the movie version that they do. So.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She's got FU money now.
Yeah, she's got FU money, right?
Yeah, that's what I just told. I have that shirt. I wear that shirt that says I now have FU money. And people are like, where's that shirt? Well, let me tell you, there was this panel a couple years ago I was on, and we just decided, I was sitting next to Kevin, and that's what he said, and I was like, holy crap,
This
he's right.
nerd in a Pet Cemetery shirt.
Yeah, he was wearing this Pet Cemetery shirt, and it clicked. My life just clicked into
All I
place that
know
day.
is, I signed on to this Listen to the Thunder movie. It made $1 billion. Everybody's got FU money.
Everybody,
And
not
except for
just me.
Keith and Larry, they're still doing their little show while everybody else has FU money. So please throw a little our way. We'll make
Heck
it
yes.
special.
I would be more than happy if I had Robert
If I-
Kirkman
yeah.
FU money. I would fund your show.
I would just give money to people on the street. Like, I just walk down the street and be like, I have money.
There you go.
Like, you seem like a nice guy. Here's money. Or it's like, you're wearing my t-shirt. Here's money.
Right, exactly.
Like, sorry, you had to
Going
buy
to the
it.
store. Buy this quickly. Hurry.
Yeah.
Put it on. She's coming down the street.
I wonder if people do that. Like, if you have, like, your picture, like, your face on a shirt. If you're just like, is it weird if I buy my shirt with my face on it? Like,
Usually
that's
people
kind of cool.
people are given those usually. It's like,
Are they?
yeah, we make shirts with your face for, we're making money on it. Here's a pile for
It's
us.
not weird.
Cool. I would do that, I think. Like, I would go into, like, Hot Topic and be like,
Do
I'm
I
gonna
look
buy
like
this,
this
and it's
person?
my face on a shirt. And they're like, oh,
Have
okay.
you seen me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello,
Have
have
you
you
seen
seen
my
the shirt?
face on this shirt? I'm gonna buy it.
It's only weird if you have a tattoo of yourself.
Oh, wow.
I won't do that.
But Kevin's gonna hook you up with that. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
tattoos.
Tattoo yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Just don't put your spouse as your boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, well, yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
no.
do that.
That's like a big. They say that's like a big.
It's the
no-no.
kiss of death. You
Right?
put your wife or your husband's name on you. Divorce. Girlfriend, boyfriend's name? No longer.
So if I see this other girl's name on my
you
wrist,
get kids
it's,
and you get deceased. That's because it's safe.
Right. Do you guys have like tons of cover-ups coming with names?
Completely. I'm like, man, I got a divorce. Cover this up. You know, it's like, oh, I told you.
I told you last week not to do it. This one's still fresh. Oh, jeez.
all right.
Just get Buffy. That's it.
There you go.
Joe Chen Buffy. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Mr. Sensei Keith,
Yeah.
are you feeling well enough for us to try and find Keith?
I think he'd be compromised if he's under the weather to try to stuff him with you.
I know, that's the
It
question.
would be cheating. It would be cheating.
If you're not up to it, it's okay.
I don't know
It's
if
okay,
I'm up to it.
All right, that's okay. We'll pass on it. Normally, part of the show, we do questions to Keith to try to stump him because he knows all and is all. It's kind of like, what's his name from Carson?
The Great
Karnak.
Karnak.
Thank you, Karnak the Great up here. He can tell you the answers, and we're just amazed. Because Brittney and I tried to stump him.
Give him a pass this show. He looks.
We are definitely
He's keeping it together really well. But you can tell he wants to go to bed.
Yeah. It's time more drugs.
So,
The prescribed kind.
Yeah, because I don't have FU money.
Yeah, the prescribed kind. Is that what happens when you
how much
have
does a
FU
dime
money?
bag cost?
I have no
I don't
idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really
I don't know.
Depends how
Like
many
you're-
guys are in there, right?
How many times are
What are
there?
you talking about?
Are there 10 dimes in there?
Bag of dimes.
Are we giving out bags of dimes?
Well, it's
I used
for
to
the poker
pay
game later,
for
right?
comic books with that when I was a kid. Here's my dime.
Who didn't, right? I used to.
Bag of dimes.
Someone comes up.
Go up to McDonald's and just like, oh, really? Just take the food. I'm like, what do I have? All my. I was a
have a
broke
bag
college
of
kid.
dimes.
Been there,
Buy
done
that
that.
cheese, buy that Cheesies or Little Caesars pizza with a bag of dimes. I'm like, really, dude? Just take these.
There's dimes in
Great,
there.
you just replenished our change drawer.
They're back there wrapping your dimes from last time.
Oh my God, there's dime guy.
Dime guy.
What are you talking
All right.
about?
Well, we've come to the portion of the show where we play one final game. Are you guys ready for the quote game?
Uh-oh.
Since we've got our panelists here that have a focus on horror,
Oh man, am
we're
I
going to have
do
some
awful?
horror quotes for you guys.
Ah, crap.
Or as my drama teacher would say, horror.
Hard.
Because you need to pronounce it that way so people don't get
I think you're
confused how you
saying
say.
4?
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's probably some horror movies with, anyway, but, all right.
Yeah,
So here's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you the quotes. The first one to come up with what movie the quote was in gets a point. If they can then name the character that said it, they get a second point.
You're gonna destroy me.
All right.
I must break you.
That was breaking.
First question, first quote. I will not be threatened by a walking meatloaf. Not be threatened by a walking meatloaf. Exactly right.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was David.
Exactly, 2
Yes.
points for
We're
Kevin.
gonna find out these are all.
Look at that. Because I went with the werewolf movie first. So there
That
you
was
go.
good. That's
Yeah.
good, man.
Thank you.
All right. Number 2. No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Sounds like a Pinhead quote.
You're exactly right.
I don't know which one though.
Original Hellraiser?
Original Hellraiser, Pinhead.
I don't like that guy.
2 points for
Doug Bradley.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like, the person's probably fine. Yeah, the person himself that plays him is probably fine, but like, Pinhead.
Dude, that one of
I
those, I
don't
mean,
like that
oh
guy.
man, when they all got turned back to what they were, and Chatterbox was like this little child, I was scarred. I was like, oh, I didn't want to see that, I
Yeah.
don't want to see that.
That's another movie my dad would watch and just be like this, would do these number, like hands over the eyes.
Very
Like hands over the eyes,
Very
I'm like,
effective.
oh god.
It's just like my
So,
mom.
My dad did that to me for Exorcist, and he's like this, I'm like, I still hear it, oh god,
He's like, no, I'm
no. Oh,
hearing
she said
flesh.
what? Oh.
My mom
I'm
did
hearing
that to
what
me for
flesh
Fast
sounds like
Times.
being
So.
ripped.
What?
My mom did that for me for Fast Times.
Oh,
When she's coming out of the pool,
My
I'm
dad-
moving your hand around
I
there.
didn't know Phoebe Cates was my girlfriend for a long time.
I think she was a lot of
And,
people.
and every time I hear her freaking moving in stereo, I'm just like,
Exactly.
Well, whatever happened to her?
Exactly.
She's a stay-at-home mom.
I
Married
mean,
Kevin
not,
Klein.
Kevin
that's
Klein.
great. She's married to Kevin Klein?
Yeah.
What?
They have a daughter who's
Good
like a
job,
singer.
Brittney.
She was in Gremlins and then
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
exactly.
like 1 and 2. I'm done. See you guys later.
Oh, all right. Third question. Good, bad, I'm the one with the gun. Come get some.
Army of Darkness.
Army of
Ashley
Darkness.
Williams.
Yep.
We'll split that one.
Just split that, yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley Williams.
Because he had the movie, I had the character.
That's right.
You would have got there.
So 3 points apiece there, guys. Look at that. All right.
Just do tag teams. I'm on their team. I'm on their team.
He's like, I'm not feeling well and I'm getting left off the team. Great, thanks. All right, question 4. Do you have open graves to find girls to fall in love with? No, I said, do you have to open graves to find girls to fall in love with?
Is it what I think it is?
Yeah.
Is it Cemetery Man?
Nope.
Oh, what is it? I pick you.
All I know is that
Phone a friend.
well, I know that White Zombie used it in one of his songs.
You say it's one of the Frankenstein movies?
It's the original Mummy.
Oh, you're wrong.
You have to open graves to find girls to fall in love with. I thought that was a great quote. Helen Rose. All right, number 5.
And I was coming to you. Good thing we weren't on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I would have
Wah,
went home.
wah.
Yeah, I would have went home.
Number 5. If only it was the picture that grows old and I remain old.
Dorian Gray?
The picture of Dorian Gray, that's correct. Who said it?
I don't know, Dorian Gray?
Correct! That's an easy one. Yeah, look at that. Way to go. Get in the game, Brittney.
Yes. I'm back in the game.
Back in the game. All right.
Yeah, I was just thinking orthopedic dribble, but I just wasn't doing it. Is the safe bet.
Number 6. We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
Scream.
No, it's Psycho.
Correct.
Anthony Perkins.
Yeah.
And who said it?
Bill Bates.
Bates.
Yeah, Bates, Norman Bates. Yeah, look at
That's
that.
he took it and screamed.
Yeah, he quoted it and
That's
screamed.
why,
Oh.
he says,
That's
"Well, I'll go
exactly
over that
right.
sometimes."
Yes.
And then shoots him, but that's where he took it from.
All right, so you just moved in the lead, Brittney. Look at that, 2 in a row. Woo! All right,
Woo!
number 7, the final question. This one is for all the marbles. I'm here to kick ass and chew dog.
Roddy Roddy Piper, they live. I'm all out of bubblegum.
I'm all out of bubblegum. That's it, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
So, thank you very much, Adam and Kevin, for joining
Oh, no,
us.
thank you guys.
Seriously.
Sorry we had to bounce a couple times.
Oh,
so-
No, that's expected. We are so glad you guys came on our
No, thank you
show.
for having us.
We are so glad you guys
thank you
showed
guys.
up and stayed here
Yeah,
for our
stay
show.
guys.
Thank
Thanks for
you
sticking
so
with us.
much.
Yeah, come and
We
get
have
these
freebies for you
guys.
guys, so you can come to our
Guys, get
table,
these.
so-
And let's give our send off. We'll start down here.
Just say your name.
So,
Adam.
where people can find you.
Yes. Okay, so we're at Table L. This is for Listen to the Thunder. I'm Adam McLaughlin, the artist, doing commissions and sketch covers, selling our first issue of Listen to the Thunder.
Where can they find you on social media?
Oh, just my name, Adam McLaughlin, or Listen to the Thunder. We have our own page as well.
Yeah.
On Facebook. Yeah,
Yes,
Facebook.
they do.
Kevin Watkins, writer of Listen to the Thunder. Very fortunate to have this man draw my scribble, dribble. But yes, Facebook, and then we do have copies left. It's becoming, we're almost out of the print run of Listen to the Thunder, the first issue.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yeah.
we have a few, my wife's actually bringing more tomorrow, and then once they're gone, they're gone now. So probably won't see them until second Kickstarter.
All right.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, but
No, I mean, like,
my biggest thing with Adam though is if you really want to, if you want a sketch cover done by this fantastic artist, and they're normally like $60, $70, $40 is a steal.
It is a steal.
yeah.
And people don't understand, you can get whatever you want. I had
Yeah.
someone, they wanted a Deadpool werewolf and Boba Fett flying in the background. Like, I mean, anything they want, I can make it happen.
You are the magic man.
That's right.
Magic Man. I'm Brittney Greer with American Wasteland Entertainment. So we have American Wasteland Entertainment on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or Strange Happenings. You can go to Strange Happenings series on Facebook. It'll have this lady's face on it. It's a pink poster. It's down on the floor. We're down by the artist, which is still kind of crazy to me. But yeah, so we're next to them. So if you want to come and get autographs, we don't charge for them. Or you can come by and say hi to us. We have t-shirts with the big logo on it, or just go and watch the show.
Do all of it.
Yeah, all of the above.
And Keith, where can they find you?
Oh, wow. You can find a lot of my postings and stuff, either Titans of the Fantastic
Yep.
on Facebook, or also check out the Facebook group, The Midwest Society of Geeks and Nerds, and you'll find all kinds of really cool geek-related comic, movie, whatever, news and information that I can put on there. So.
All right. And I'm Larry Lytle at geekycool.com, cool with a K, and just like it sounds, cool like cool again, geekcool.com. We do writing for all sorts of cool stuff like cons, and check us out, and we do reviews of all sorts of stuff. So check us out there. We are also on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and I'm probably missing something else. So, but you can check us out there at Geeky Cool. We'll get you found. So send us a message, and always feel free to leave comments on any posts that you read. We're Titans of the Fantastic. Check us out monthly here on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel. We're out.
Woo!